and George played too.
Yeah, he's not really covered himself in glory this year, is he?
No, they've sort of fallen. Yeah, the gap between them has gone that little bit wider this year. It also finished Eels 4, Sharks 14, Titans 8, Dragons 54, with Widdop bagging a try, 5 try assists and 2 clean breaks, and it finished the Roosters 38, the Knights 8.
Yeah, so all that means the Dragons and the Warriors are the unexpected leaders in the early going, both with 3 wins from 3. Roosters, Storm, Panthers, West Tigers, Broncos and Knights make up the top 8 on 2 wins each. The Raiders and the Eels are the only remaining sides without a win so far in the early season goings there in the NRL. And we had a reviewing from the National Conference League, but not from the Dudley Hill versus York Acorn game that was on Free Sports, but from Stanningley versus Saddleworth, which finished 34-14 to Stanningley. And I'm not sure where he saw the stream for this, because I certainly didn't see anything, but good going on Karsten over there in Switzerland to find viewing of this one. He said, Stanningley with a dominant first half, second half was more equal and very entertaining, grassroots at its best, and the commentators on the stream were glorious.
Yeah, if they repeat that, definitely check that out, because I
must
did
be on
watch a bit of
Barstool Sports or something along those lines. I can't imagine, unless they've done it on their own website through their own Facebook group or something.
I was going to say they've done it on their own
or
Facebook
their own YouTube
page.
channel, because I know Manchester Rangers are starting to try and get some live streaming on their own YouTube channel of their games as well. Is a plan that they've got in hand for hopefully down the way. So yeah, obviously a lot of these amateur sides are doing great work in getting coverage for their teams on the internet.
Yeah, I watched the York Acorn Bradford Dudley Hill game.
Yep.
And it was a really good game, actually, really close finish for York Acorn, just edging it right at the end. Bradford somewhat unlucky in it, but the coverage was starting to get frustrating after a while, partly because they kept panning to the crowd. They were clearly trying to get every person who was in the crowd get their face on the TV at some point. And it was like, guys, just focus on the action. There was a bit where they panned down to, switched over to Paul Wood down on the sidelines, and then they missed a try because he was just chatting away with some guy. And it was like, come on, and admittedly the interviewee wasn't being particularly helpful or anything. It was just some lad. And it's like, come on, at least mention the fact there's just been a try scored.
Well, I think...
And the other thing that I found quite harsh was Mick Morgan. He was just a broken record.
Yeah, well, when you've got a catchphrase and that's all you've really got now, you stick to it.
Apparently, once he couldn't speak.
Yeah, but I think what I would say is the wanting to get demonstration out of the fact that they've got multiple camera setups and stuff like that, which really is impressive for an outside broadcast at that level. With that little experience
and I think
behind it, to have that sort of setup is positive. It's just learning how to use it right.
Exactly, and I think it was the direct. They almost, I think, it just felt like the direction of it wasn't quite as experienced as it needed to be.
Yeah,
I think it just needed to be a bit more judicious in how, because I think the crowd shots themselves were good, and it was quite good that they were so close to everybody. It wasn't like the sort of Sky ones that are, just done from the main camera positions. They were obviously right up in their face, so it was a really nice thing to do. But it's just being judicious about when to use it at the right time.
Yeah, sure. No, I think the learning, and it's positive motions at least.
And I think almost Paul Wood as well was being underused as the sideline reporter, and it would have been better having him up in the doing the commentary as doing the sort of summarising and that side of things. I think that would have been
this week.
Yeah, at least he didn't swear. Maybe he was supposed to be, and then he got put on the sideline for being a naughty boy.
Right, okay. We're in danger of running off a 3-hour show here with 12 Super League games to predict coming up. So let's move on now swiftly to the preview and predictions. Okay, preview and predictions sponsored by Payroll Central UK Limited. Payroll Central is a family-run business based in Derbyshire. They offer an outsourced payroll service for businesses across the UK. Visit payroll- in fact, I don't know why I'm giving the website out. I don't think it still works, but payroll-central.co.uk. If you mention SLP, you'll get some special discounts when you contact them. Or look out for them rebranding. I'm sure Daniel, who runs Payroll Central, will get in touch with me to give me the up-to-date details, quick, sharp. Okay, right, let's run through round 8 and round 9 of the Super League. Tim, we've also picked out a championship game from both rounds. There's only one round of League One to pick through from as well, and then there's some NRL Brit picks as well that we might all be able to get to watch on Good Friday before the real feast of the derbies kicks off. So let's start on Thursday night, Wakefield versus Castleford. Where do you see this one going?
I think Cass will have the momentum of their tails up on the back of last week, and I see them carrying on their good form for this one.
Yeah, I think Wakefield have got to sort out the David Fafita injury situation, because that hurts what they can do. It hurts how much space they create out wide, just because of how much men he draws into the middle. So I think Castle nick it. 24-20 I've gone in favour of a Castleford side that are starting to look a little bit better, and also maybe are going to get a run of tries again in this game like they did last week.
Yep, then over to East Hull. It is the big one, the One City Derby, and I've only gone one way on this one. It's KR against FC, and I've had to go for the home side, of course.
Any sort of prediction of winning margin?
I think it's going to be. I mean, I'd say it'll be one score.
Look, the injury situation we talked about before makes me think that's just.
That's just heart overhead.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to go 32-16 to Hull FC. I think they're on a sort of upwards curve in terms of the injury position, with players starting to come back, whereas Hull KR look set to be missing quite a few serious goers in there for their side. So I hate to say it, but I'm a bit worried for you. But that's kind of tends to be the occasions at Easter where it all flips around. And that's always assuming that the beast from the east doesn't show up again, like it's rumoured to.
Oh, let's hope not.
Huddersfield versus Leeds is the first of 3 p.m. kick-offs. Do you see this going any way other than Leeds? I've got Leeds at 24-8, and I don't really need to say much more about why. I don't think after what I mentioned about before.
I can't see anything to dissuade me that Leeds is exactly the way to go on this one. Also kicking off at 3 o'clock, we've got Warrington against Widnes. Which way are you going on this one?
I've gone with the home side, 30 points to 14. I think I just think they're the better side out of these two we've already seen earlier this season, and I would say that they've started to get their attack together a little bit, and they've also shown throughout this season that they're reasonably strong defensively this year. So I think Warrington are much the better side out of these two as it stands.
Yeah, definitely Wyatt for me on this one. Salford against Catalan. I've gone for the home side, assuming that they haven't sold off half the squad by Friday.
Yeah, I think Friday will be the game that Salford will target over Easter for the victory. Not that they wouldn't want to win both games, but with the opposition, with the fact that they're at home, they've got a thin squad, so they have to focus it more at one of the games, I would suggest. I've gone 29-22, so I don't think they're going to be overwhelming, because I saw some creativity issues last week, but I think they're going to be the better side. And then the final game on Friday is the big one of them all. Friday at 3:15 on Sky, you'll be able to enjoy the top two St Helens against Wigan. Can Wigan make it nine in a row Good Fridays? What do you think, Tim?
With the way their attack's been at the moment, I'm saying Saints.
Well, it won't shock anyone to say that I'm going Wigan. I actually think it might be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a real. I think both sides are going to come physical at this one and focus on that and focus on not making mistakes. But 16-12 to my Wigan Warriors is what I'm going to go with. And it's in hope as much as anything else, because Saints have been really good, but we've been pretty damn good too.
Yeah, I mean, not so. I think it's one of the ones where there's the least between you for quite a while.
Yeah, let's hope for an intense atmosphere, similar to what we got at Leeds versus Cass last week. Then, right, let's roll into round 9, the Easter Monday fixtures. The first of those games to kick off is Castleford versus Warrington at 1:30 in the afternoon. I've got the home side in a high-scoring affair, 36-26. I don't think defence will be the order of the day, and on that shortened pitch there'll be plenty of tries, but I just think Castleford have got maybe a little bit more execution in them.
And I think they've got that little bit more depth in the squad as well, which will help them.
It's not a bad shout, yeah.
Sort of rolling into a second game. So I've gone Cass as well. Hull FC against Wakefield, I've gone for FC on this one.
I think this one will be high scoring. I think neither side has huge depth of first graders really to roll into the second game. So I do think there'll be a lot of fatigue. The scoreboard will run up 40 points to 30. I've got in favour of the black and whites, and even more than that on the Leeds versus Salford game. That's also at 3 o'clock. I've gone the home side 50 points to 10. I think, Leeds haven't got a huge squad, but they have got more depth than Salford, who've got probably the thinnest squad in Super League and no youth to pull up as well to fill the gaps. So I've got Leeds winning big at home.
Yeah, I've gone for Leeds as well. The thing with Leeds as well, they have got lots of utility in their squad, haven't they? They've got lots of players who can slot into various different positions that can cover a fair bit, which is what you tend to see in these sorts of games.
Injuries could pop up anywhere, couldn't they, really?
Exactly, yeah. And the other one I've gone for on Monday, 3 o'clock as well, is Wigan against Hull KR. Why do we always play you on a Monday, on an Easter Monday?
We've given you some proper spankings over the years. Wasn't the two back-to-back where we scored, I think, 70-odd one year, then 84 the next year or something?
Yeah, and when
the other way around.
And we'd had a Good Friday, we had a real bruise up on the Good Friday, and I think there was about 2 players injured and 3 suspended or something stupid. So it was just a bunch of kids and people who never met each other.
Even last time that you were in Super League 2 years ago, I think you played us on the Easter Monday.
That was, didn't they move it to the evening, and it was just a quite drab game from my memory.
It was the game that I missed because I was stuck in Barcelona Airport.
Yes, there we go.
So I didn't see the game at all, but yeah, probably. I've gone 38-20 anyway in favour of my Wigan Warriors. I think Rovers have got good squad depth in terms of numbers of players with a bit of experience, but most of them are Championship calibre players, whereas Wigan can probably pull out a little bit more from their depth, and also I think there'll be players really hungry to get game time, like Navarrete, Hamlin, Dan Sargentson as well, of course.
I've forgotten about him.
Yeah. And then Jake Shorrocks is no weak link as an extra halfback to bring into the squad if we really need to push down that far out. I think Josh Ganson's a cracking hooker. So we've got options there that I think are stronger probably than Hull KR's options in the key positions if we need to rest our starters in those.
It does depend on how much they heal up in the next few days. But if the injuries are as they were after Friday night, then This could be another one to tire out the scoreboard operator. Kicking off at 5 minutes past 3. It's just to be awkward because it's on Sky. It's Widnes against Saints.
I've got Saints winning this one. 28-14 is the scoreline I've gone for. Reasonably comfortable for St Helens.
Yeah, I've put Saints on this one. Again, I just think their attack's got too much, and I think they will have some bodies missing, you'd imagine, after Friday, but I think they'll still have enough to be able to overcome Widnes in their current form.
And then the final game of the Easter schedule is Monday 5:15 on Sky, the traditional Sky Catalan game. Catalan versus Huddersfield, so 2 of the basement dwellers in Super League.
The contractual obligation derby.
Well, I fancy Catalan to pull this one out. I think another high-scoring affair, like most of the Easter Monday games will be, and I'm going to be spoiler alert, predicting even higher scores for the weekend after. But 34-26 in favour of Catalan. I think by that point they might just have worked out what the best combinations are in attack, or at least have strengthened some combinations in attack, and that will see them through in probably a scratchy game.
I've gone for the Cowbell Merchants on this one.
Do you think they'll get that on the plane, the Cowbell?
That's a good. Presumably, I have to put it in the hold.
Yeah.
In the hand luggage.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be allowed it because it would be, it's a lot of metal. You'd never get that through the metal detector, would you?
Yeah, and even like running it through the machine, they'd be like, "What on earth is this?" Did I ever tell the story on the podcast about when we were about 18 or 19 and we went on a holiday to Amsterdam, and the night before we'd all been in the pub, and one of the lads hadn't packed his bag. And he'd gone home with another one of the lads who wasn't going on the holiday with us, and I think we were 19. Yeah, and the lad who wasn't going on the holiday, when the guy who was going packed his bags, bit pissed up, and hadn't reached his maximum weight,